too also. So I'm about to bound my hands and do some weapon shit. Alright? Because it's cold outside, we're only making one video. So Instagram and YouTube, this shit is going to just be long. I'm not going to transition to make different weapons videos. Once I get my belt around my arms, all hell is pretty much all I can say. So I'm not gonna like do specific shit specifically, but I am going to have my hands bound. So for the record, we're gonna go backwards first. All right. So bear with me. Attempt to tie this shit up. I can't see what my hands are doing, so. Alright. So we're just gonna go. Alright. Alright, so as you can see, not trying to give you guys a booty shot, just letting you see my hands are actually tied up. Alright. So as I said in many of the videos that I've done on YouTube, Instagram, this is new for you. So, one, as a martial artist, let's keep this shit real. I pray that you will never ever have to fight like this, and I'm not going to say that you can't, which is why I'm making this video. But I'm going to tell you to be honest, you got to keep this shit simple, because when your hands are behind your back, you're 50% vulnerable. Not 100, not 75, but you're 50%. I am probably a little more than 50% just because this leg here, the left one, had a hip replacement, and I'm not supposed to go all out anymore. Now, as far as working weapons with your hands bound, which is what this video is going to wind up being, not going to happen with your hands behind your back. Alright? It's not going to happen. Let's keep it real. I mean, this is a practice comma, you know. Ah, the guy's coming at me. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. Let's keep the shit real. Alright, so I gotta fade back a bit because of the... Hold on. Alright, for the purpose of what you need to see, for all purposes right now... Ooh, damn it, that's gonna fucking fuck some shit up. Alright, so for all medicinal purposes, this is as far as you need for me to go. If your hands are behind you and you are not a fighter, if your hands are behind you and you are a fighter, what I'm about to do is your best option. So, you see that right there? Can't wave. That pole right there? This is your best option when your hands are behind you. The reason for that is really simple. A good run is better than a bad stand any day of the week. So, guys coming at you, your hands behind you, front kick. No, front kick. Those are pretty much your options. Or run. Guys coming, you set yourself straight. Boom. Boom. Those are pretty much your only options outside of guys coming, set, hoop, crescent. Crescent. It's a good chance that you might not be able to nail that kick. But this side kick, boom, that's pretty much it. Because, you know, your hands are tied. Okay. Now, here's where the fun part comes in. First, wave to you. Attempt to wave to you. Oh, mother dick. Okay. I don't know if that was supposed to be what I was trying to do. Sorry. Man, I got mud on my machine. Which is the other reason why I need to back this sumbitch up a little bit. So that I'm not in mud. Angle the camera. and move the camera. Alright. So here we have my 3 weapons of choice for today. Your practice kama, your mini bow, and your hockey stick, which I usually use as a pike. Alright, now we're going to go through some motions really quickly. This is a belt. I'm going to belt my hands in front of me now. I specifically and extensively tell you all, if you have not had actual martial art training, or some kind of special forces training, or some kind of training in general, not necessarily martial arts, this is not an option. It is also not for you. They're that way. But we're gonna do it this way. Ah, hell. Okay. Attempting to tuck this puppy. Okay. There you go. This is not easy when you don't have an assistant. Okay? So, if you haven't watched the other videos, let me give you a rehashing on how you need to block. High left, medium left, low left. High right, medium left, right, low right. Alright? And the reason for that is you need to know how to use what, where, when, and how. Need to get those out my way so I don't get fucked up. Alright. The don'ts. Do not do that. It's a good chance that you're going to get body slammed if you come across an opponent who actually knows martial arts. The other don'ts. Because your opponent has a few seconds to get you when you go for a tornado kick. And if you miss, you're also in the air. So you want to keep it as simple as possible. You want to keep your feet on the ground at all times. At least 1 foot. So to keep it simple, block, knee. Block, knee. Block, knee, elbow. Now I do prayer hands because it works better for me. Same thing with blocking and striking. But you can ball your fist up too. However, I prefer prayer hands. Block, 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 block. That way I can throw an elbow. I can throw an elbow from either side. Block, knee, elbow. Block, knee, elbow. And we all could reach godly-like levels. Sorry. Now, good. Guys coming at you. Block and your knee, and you can elbow or you can elbow. So let's get down to the guts and glory of this. This practice kama. Basically, you're going to hold it the same way you would hold a sword. The problem is your hands are tied. So you're not going to be doing any of this fancy whirling shit. So remember, the real kama, this is a blade. So block can also be a slice. Block, and you can slice. Or you can slice. Somebody come, boom, boom. You know, you want your blade always pointing at your opponent. Boom, 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 boom. You know, so block, you can come up. That would be one of these hits to the testicle or the groin area. Block. Now if you want to not hurt them, you block this side and cluck that way. Fuck that shit. You have a blade. Block, decapitate. Block, decapitate. Block, decapitate. Block, decapitate. Block, decapitate. Block, decapitate. Now as you notice, the angle will change. Block, slice, See, you are in control of that. And this is what you're not going to do. Because now you have no weapon. I understand how that works. Alright, so this is long range. But you can still defend yourself. And you're not going to do this. Because if you drop your weapon, you're fucked. So, your strikes, your blocks. Boom, boom. You don't really have to do a lot of these. It's long enough to cover it. You know, it's long enough to cover the range of your opponent's weapons. Unless they take your hands. Then you're screwed. So, you know, block, block. And you want to block and counter. Block, strike, block, strike. So you have an up strike from the bottom or a down strike from the top. From the right, strike. From the left, strike. You do not do this. Alright? Because it's great for show, but not so good in actual combat. So, boom, boom, that's fine. Boom, boom, that's fine. This, not fine. And now you see why. And now I can't pick it up. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up with my feet. Eventually. Now you see why there's none of this shit. Alright, good for training, great for movies. Now let's say I'm gonna block and put some power into it. So these, if you're having a pike, you know this swing, and you know that swing. If you have a majestic spear, it coming that way. But majestic spear is kind of dangerous to work with your hands tied because you can't get that whip with this thing. The pike, you don't really need the whip, and the stick is not flimsy. It's solid. So, with your pike, you know, it's a very good Japanese weapon, though. Because it's also the double-edged pike. Boom! Same thing with the Kwon-Do. And as you can see, there was no whirling there. Boom, boom, boom. Those are your strikes, you know. So if someone's coming low, thump, boom, boom. Now the pike has a blade at the end. That's why I use the hockey stick. Since it has a blade at the end, when you thump and you come across, you're gouging your enemy, period. So with your hands tied, you can still operate long range and short range weapons. Do not do that. Now notice I told you not to do that after I did it, because honestly, this is kind of pointless, but a lot of pike strikes do happen to be up here. A lot of operators of the pikes were female warriors in the Japanese lore. So, because they assumed that females were weaker than men, they assigned them the pike. But they had some small dudes, too, that also used the pike. Again, don't do the whirling part. But this part up here, that's fine. You can probably do this. I don't recommend it because your back's being turned to your enemy. So, strike, strike, strike. Again, now you see why you don't whirl. See, it's caught, and just because I can do it doesn't mean I should do it. So now, I turn my blade the wrong way, which means I have a problem. Boom, boom, I hit them with the blunt side. But if I switch it over, then I can come back and decapitate. Strike, strike. Now back up. Finally, we got the mini bow. Now, the mini bow is a speed weapon. So, under any circumstances whatsoever, you don't want to do this. Because that thing's gone. It's gone. And that leaves you like this. Okay. No whirling, though. Just this. That's about the only whirl. Block, 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 strike, strike. None of the whirling. That's force of habit. And my bindings are coming undone. And my nose is starting to run. Hold on a second. Okay, there. And also, rest in peace, Brody Lee. Or Harper. Okay. It's really complicated to do this with your hands tied. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So, again, this, now you know why. Enough said? So you're going to fight and your hands are tied. Again. See how I got away? No. Now you have to learn how to operate both hands as one hand while working your weapon. Boom, that's a block left. Boom, that's a block right. Now, the reason why it's a mid to high block is because I'm short and this stick is short. See? This stick is like maybe 4 feet 2. I'm 5'3" and a half. You're going to add it. So, block high, block low. Block high, block low. Block medium, block medium. 9 times out of 10, you have a stick, so it's probably not going to be necessary for you to incorporate your knees. However, if you want to incorporate them in battle, so guys coming directly at you, sidestep, boom, boom, bring the knee. Sidestep, boom, bring the knee. So you can incorporate it. Boom, elbow, boom, elbow. Kind of hard to throw those elbows with your hands tied. It's not hard to throw with a damn knee. So you like, boom. When you hit them, the target is the gut, and then your next move is to bring your knee to their chin or their forehead. Something that's going to put them off onto their back. So, strike, bam, because that's the closest move. And that could be completely kung fu. Boom, boom, because that knee is right there. It would be pointless to go boom and then boom, because now I have to drag this knee all the way across. But this knee is already there. So I'm hitting in the gut, the knee's right there. Alright? Now, if I want to do power, boom, bam, you know, I done put more energy into that knee than necessary. Boom, boom, that knee is right there. You know, and now, boom, boom, I can elbow them. I have a stick, so it would have just been simple to go boom, boom. You know, but it'd be easier to do the knee. Strike, boom, bam. There you go. There's your combo. Now the other side. Boom, boom, boom. That was a whirl. It's probably one of the one times you can whirl it. Switch it off. Boom, boom, boom. Understand the thing about the martial arts. Knowing where and how to hit your opponent is far more than how much power you need to put behind it. 9 times out of 10, no power really required. However, it also depends on who you're fighting. Now, that's that thing with karate and kung fu. That tiny little difference is the karate is precise and kung fu is about power. Alright? I did that wrong. What I meant to say was, kung fu is precise and karate is about power. Because if you watch how more you have to torque with karate and taekwondo versus how less you have to do it with kung fu and Wing Chun, not so much wushu, because wushu is really, really flashy. But for kung fu, for instance, when I tell you hit here and then hit here, it's because they were right there. Now if I want to do karate and I hit here and bring this other knee in, I'm shifting the power and I'm bringing in that power, which really ain't necessary because I hit them in the stomach with a fucking stick. You know, boom, this is going to hurt in general right there. Fight should probably be over. But to put that icing on the cake, boom, that knee is going to do some damage, which is what you want to do. Now, as I said, you got 2 guys. Boom, wah. There you go. I knew it was probably going to be a question of if I have 2 guys and my hands are tied, but I have a stick. I'm still powerful. I have a stick. Yes, my hands are tied, but I have a stick. You know, it's a stick. It has range. 2 guys running at the same time. Boom, that's a low blow. You know, I'm going to hit them right here in the bladder and crotch area. Boom. Then I'm going to lift the stick up because they're already hunched over. So I'm going to hit them and I'm going to lift the stick up. Which, if the stick doesn't break, it should pick them up too. Now, let's say I go high. Boom! I hit them in the throat. I hit them in the chest or the throat because I have a stick. My hands are tied. They have this much range between them. So, boom. Now let's say situation's a little different. Boom, boom, boom. Understand? Crack, crack. Or boom, boom, boom. You'll figure out whatever situation you're in. But you can't fight with your hands tied, and you can't fight with a stick. You just have to figure out how, where, when, why, and how much power am I going to use when I need that. They're running at me, so I don't need that much power. Because if you know anything about judo, judo uses your opponent's momentum to fuck them up. Boom! You know, they're still running. Boom! It's more than likely that's going to make them come to a sudden stop. Especially your target is the sternum and the stomach, which means from here where your breastbone breaks into your ribs in the belly. So, boom! There's your strike. Now, when they hinched over, you can do some fancy shit. Let me move over this way. So you hinched over, clap. You know, hinched over, clap. Yeah, your flexibility would be very important for that. Or, boom, double kick. You know, the thing I left off of in this scenario is the guy that you don't see from the back. Boom. That's the guy you hit first. Or at the same time. Wham. So, you know, again, works great in the movies. Real life, God only knows. But I will tell you, your hands are tied and you have a stick. You're halfway to the winning team right there. As long as there's one person or two people. That third person will be a factor that you will have to find a way to control. So strike, strike, or boom, at the same time. You'll figure it, in case y'all missed that. It can be done. I am the king of the impossible. Now, don't. Don't do that. I see. Don't do that part, just this part. Boom, boom. That's the only whirling you're going to have time for. Strike, bow. Strike, boom, boom. Those are do's. This is a don't. You see how it almost got away from me? That's why it's a don't. So, boom, bow. Boom, bow. Boom, boom, boom. You know, your target, for those who didn't understand what just happened. Boom, boom. Because they're over, and now you're bringing it up. Also, when you bring it up, you can hook them and fling them. And momentum's a very important part of that. Boom. But you got to have the time to adjust your hands on this stick. Which is also why you don't do this shit. This bitch is business. That's all. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Now when you do that, it's to bring momentum down to try to end this fight quickly because your hands are fucking tied. So, we're back on the pike, or the hockey stick. Same concept, basically. Boom. So you can sweep it. Boom. So you can sweep that one side. Boom. Clap. Boom. Clap. Now, again, if you're actually using a real pike, you're not going to be this close to the bladed end. You're going to be in the middle. So, boom. Switch it and stab. Now, if you just want to hurt them and incapacitate them, then you use the blunt side. Bow. Flap. If you want to get nasty, boom. 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 So you'll figure out your combos with your weapon. Boom. Boom. Bye. Again, none of that. Hopefully, I've taught you some stuff with your weapons in your hands tied, trying to wave, y'all. Just in case Kung Fu Havoc number 2 wants to know what the hell I'm doing. Now, again, I've been training with my hands tied since I was between the ages of 13, 14, and beyond. And every now and again, I'll still practice this shit. So, let's get back to hands and feet before I end this video and this live stream. And hopefully y'all will like it. Your hands are a very important tool in a fight. They are great for blocking. They are great for grappling. When your hands are tied, that does not mean that they are neutralized. Shit, I tied the knot. Anyway, if your hands are back here, that's when you're at the most disadvantage. When your hands are here tied, you have a fighting chance. So you want to use the chances that you have. Understand how that works. You know, and always remember also that the guy behind you is the most dangerous guy. The person that you don't see is the most dangerous guy that you have to deal with. So again, if you have 3 opponents and your hand is tied, you attack the guy behind you first. If you got your blocks, that's your first move. Having control of your hands helps you in any fighting situation. So if it's one guy, you can push him out of the way. You can push him out of the way. High right, excuse me, that was a medium. High right, medium right, low. High, medium, low. Now if you're stuck doing a style, like your drunken master, your sway works. It's not affecting your hands. Buddha palm. Get your hands twisted up even more. So, you know, understanding how to work with your hands tied will help you out. So, again, I use prayer blocks. My hands are getting cold. That's why I'm trying to hurry up and get through this. So, I use prayer blocks. Boom, boom. Now, the reason I use prayer blocks is because it's comfortable for me. Some people clasp. I don't recommend it because it's easier to get your knuckles racked. It's easy to get your knuckles racked in prayer blocks too, but at the same time, you still have more control. So a prayer block can turn into a grip a lot faster than your hands being gripped amongst itself. So also, depending on your range, you can actually use this rope as a weapon to lock around your opponent and get them in there. The problem with that is you might get jammed and they still have another hand and other parts of their body. So if you get them jammed in there, you need to operate quickly. You also need to be able to unwrap. So if you're wrapped in there, you know, you got their arms wrapped in there, boom, boom, unwrap and get the hell out. The entire time after doing that, you need to find a way to get your hands free of your bindings. And if not, boom, 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 you need to be ready. All right? I hope that I taught you guys something. I hope that I can get out of this rope. My hands are cold, so I have to end this now. I'm also losing light. But, you know, do not go attempting this without some overseeing of a martial artist who's actually had some kind of bound training, which I highly tell you good luck with that. Because there's not too many people that were trained from childhood with a belt strapped around their hands. You know, I am one of those blessed people where at the time I was thinking, this is never going to happen. I'm never going to need this shit. Well, the fortunate news is I don't need it, but knowing that I can use it helps me out. Yeah, I posted a video, I think about a month or two ago, about how I don't think any martial art is useless. And then somebody had said something to me about Systema and something else. I don't know, Krav Maga. Somebody said something about that. You know, I'm not about putting other arts down. I'm about learning any and every style because when I initially got into martial arts, I was 7 years old and I was a fucking street fighter in West Haven and wherever the hell else my uncles decided to take me to fight kids because back in the late 80s or late 70s, early 80s, let's see, I'm born 73, so by 76 I was 6, so late 70s, early 80s, I was fighting in the streets. So therefore, if I tell you something that's wrong, I'm sorry. But if I tell you something from my experience, I'm not sorry other than to the people that I fought. But being taught how to fight with my hands tied has helped me train. And also teaches you how to be aware of unexpected shit. And how that you can still fight even when your enemy thinks that you can't. And that helps a lot because there's not too many people who know what I know. There's not too many people that have battle fucking tested this shit. Same thing with the tree thing that I did earlier. So, 1 second. Before I end this, I need to put these weapons up. As darkness is falling. Sorry about that, y'all. You know, I'm gonna be honest. For me, I don't believe there's a martial art that is totally useless. I think you can probably learn something from everything. And the other main reason why I started taking martial arts in the first place was to be a better street fighter, to be a person who has a style that they don't know that I don't know it, but I can learn it and I can beat them with it. I know enough of certain styles of martial arts that I can fuck people up with. It's kind of like MMA, only most of my stuff has become more Chinese and Japanese and Korean versus the other shit. You know? So when I break into an animal style like the crane, if someone breaks into the snake, I can go into snake or I can stay in the crane because they are equal. Or I can totally fuck them up and go into mantis. Same thing with the tiger and the dragon. I can go into the tiger or the dragon, or I can just go into drunken master. Now, drunken master, I would say, would be a great qualifier to fight someone who does capoeira. Same concept, just different moves. Capoeira, your jinga, you got your high. That's like for low level. You got your low or medium, and you got your mad low. You know, so it pays to know what martial art you recognize. Thai fighters, American kickboxer, Taekwondo, you know, Kempo. You know, if you can recognize the style, more than likely you can beat the guy doing the style if you've had a little bit of training in that style. Taekwondo, everything stops and rechambers. I ain't got time for that. So when you do your Taekwondo turning round, I got options. I can break your knee. I can sweep your foot. I can do both at the same time, which is generally my plan. You throw a punch for Wing Chun, I can block it and break it and strike, which is Wing Chun, Kempo, and Wushu, because it's all the same with the trapping hands. Same with the push hands. Push hands is also in Drunken Master. So if you can recognize the style, 9 times out of 10, if you're fighting someone who's new, who doesn't have a lot of fighting experience, you're probably going to win. Now, if you watched my video earlier that I posted for Instagram about the tree technique or the pole technique, if you are not a strong fighter, go watch that video. It will teach you how to use the tree to your advantage. You know? So, learning how to fight is great. Knowing how to fight is better, but more importantly, knowing any extra skill that can help you survive a fight is probably the most important thing. So for Kung Fu Havoc number 2, be seeing you. And for Instagram,